This story, titled, I Discovered My Partner Has Been Hiding Their True Financial Situation, and Now I Don't Know If I Can Build a Future with Them, begins with a discovery that changed everything. For the past 3 years, I believed that David and I were on the same page about everything: our dreams, our values, and most importantly, our future. We had spent countless nights talking about the home we'd buy, the family we'd have, and the life we were working toward together. But then, I found something I wasn't supposed to. And suddenly I wasn't sure if I even knew the man I was about to marry. It all started on an ordinary Thursday evening. David was in the shower, and I was searching through the drawer in our home office for a stamp. His desk was usually neat, but that day there was a stack of unopened envelopes shoved into the back of the drawer. I wouldn't have thought twice about it, except one of them had "Final Notice" stamped in bold red letters. My heart skipped a beat. I pulled out the envelope and stared at it, my stomach twisting into knots. I knew David handled most of our finances, but we had always been honest with each other. Or at least, I thought we had. Curiosity got the best of me. I opened the envelope, and what I found inside made my breath catch in my throat. David was drowning in debt. Not just a little, tens of thousands of dollars, and I had no idea. By the time he stepped out of the shower, I was sitting on the couch, the envelope in my lap. When he saw it, his expression changed instantly. "Leah, why do you have that?" I looked up at him, my voice barely above a whisper. "Why don't I have this, David? Why didn't you tell me?" He sighed, running a towel through his damp hair. "It's not a big deal." I let out a hollow laugh. "Not a big deal? Final notices aren't a big deal." He walked over, sitting beside me. "Leah, I was going to handle it." I turned to face him, my heart pounding. "When? After we got married? After I merged my finances with yours and found out the hard way?" His jaw clenched. "It's not like that." "Then what is it like?" Silence. The next few days were a blur. I tried to pretend things were normal, but the truth sat between us like a thick fog. Every time I looked at David, I didn't see the man I thought I knew. I saw secrets. I kept replaying our past conversations in my head. The times he had reassured me that we were fine, that we were on track to buy a house soon, that we could afford our wedding without worry. Had it all been a lie? That Saturday, I confronted him again. "David," I started, sitting across from him at the kitchen table, "I need to know everything." He sighed, rubbing his temple. "Leah." "No more half-truths," I interrupted. "How bad is it?" For the first time, he looked nervous. And then he told me. Credit card debt. A personal loan he had taken out years ago that had spiraled out of control. And the worst part, he had been gambling. I felt like the air had been sucked out of the room. "Gambling?" I whispered. He nodded, his gaze dropping to the table. At first, it was just a little. I thought I could win some money and fix things. But then, I kept losing, and I didn't know how to stop. I felt sick. All these years, I had trusted him. Believed that we were building something together. And now I was realizing that the foundation of our relationship was built on lies. I pushed back my chair and stood up. "I need some air." David reached for my hand, but I pulled away. "Leah, please. I was going to tell you." I shook my head, tears burning my eyes. "No, you weren't. You were going to let me marry you without ever knowing the truth." And with that, I walked out the door, my heart breaking with every step. As I wandered through the quiet streets, my mind raced. Could I still build a future with someone who had hidden something this big from me? Or had he already broken the trust beyond repair? I sat in my car, staring at the streetlights flickering above me. My hands were still shaking, my mind still reeling from everything David had confessed. How could I have been so blind? I had trusted him with everything: my love, my future, my dreams. And now, I wasn't sure if I even knew the man I had planned to marry. When I finally went home that night, David was sitting on the couch, his face buried in his hands. The moment he saw me, he stood up. "Leah." His voice was raw. "Please, let's talk." I swallowed the lump in my throat. "Talk about what, David? The fact that you lied to me? That you've been gambling our future away while telling me everything was fine?" His face twisted in pain. "I was scared," I scoffed. "You were scared, David? I was building a life with someone I didn't even know." He stepped closer. "I didn't want to lose you." Tears welled in my eyes. "Then you shouldn't have lied to me." We sat in silence for a long time. Then finally I spoke. "Tell me the truth. All of it." David took a deep breath. "I owe nearly $75,000. My stomach dropped. I gripped the edge of the couch, trying to steady myself. $75,000. Leah, I have a plan, he rushed on. I've already started getting help for the gambling. I'm working on a repayment plan. I will fix this. I looked at him, really looked at him, and for the first time, I saw something beyond the guilt. I saw fear, not just of losing me, but of himself, of what he had become. David, my voice was quiet. Do you even know why you did this? His shoulders slumped. I don't know. Maybe I wanted to prove to myself that I could take care of us, that I could make things better, but I kept digging myself deeper. I closed my eyes. I wanted to believe him. I really did. But trust, once broken, isn't so easily repaired. For the next few days, I barely spoke to him. I needed time, space. And then, one night, I made my decision. I sat across from David at the kitchen table, the same table where we had once dreamed about our future. But this time, the air between us was different. I love you, David, I whispered. But love isn't enough. His face crumbled. Leah, please. I can fix this. We can fix this. I shook my head. You have to fix this. And you can't do that while you're trying to hold on to me. Tears slipped down his face. So, that's it. I reached across the table, taking his hand one last time. Maybe one day, when you've truly healed, we can find our way back to each other. But right now, I have to walk away. Leaving was the hardest thing I've ever done. But sometimes loving someone means letting them go, so they can become the person they're meant to be. And so, I can become the person I'm meant to be. If this story resonated with you, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Have you ever discovered a secret that changed everything? Share your thoughts below.